Boom. Okay, cool. We are in business. Oh no, so yeah, I've got a few mods on here. I'm going to be playing gens with the Modern Adventure mod that I made, so a little bit better modern Sonic physics, and got the SA2 model mod going on here. And I think I'll just start from the beginning. I already accidentally deleted my save, so I might as well just go for broke, right? Ugh. I forgot how bad classic Sonic looks with this mod. Like, modern Sonic looks awesome, but classic Sonic not so much. How's the audio? Is it sounding all right? It really is. Oh, man. How did we go from this to Forces? Keeps me up at night. No game audio? Alright, one quick sec. See if I can fix it. Game capture. That's frustrating. Properties. For some reason, all my audio is gone. I swear it was working fine. You know how it goes. I know this is riveting for you, Twip. I appreciate you helping me fine-tune this. Let's see. Audio. Hey, that's working. Okay. All right, let's try this once more. Tell me if you can hear it now. You good? Ooh. Turning it down. Let's try that. How's that? Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, so I guess I just gotta get through the chore of classic Sonic first. I do like classic Sonic a lot, but in Generations, like, for some reason, just like it feels, I don't know, feels a lot less fun than the modern Sonic stuff. That's what I come to Generations for. I come for the modern. Oh, I can get the classic in spades and Sonic 3 and K and Mania and stuff. So I think they're fine. They're good. They're well designed as far as classic goes. They're kind of Sonic 2-ish. They're not like crazy multiple paths or anything, which I always like about classic Sonic, but it gets the job done. As far as facsimiles go, it's definitely decent. Yeah. Woo! Now the question is, cutscenes or no cutscenes? Should I skip or should I go for it? You know, I don't feel strongly enough about it to disagree with you. Like, they're definitely solidly designed levels. I don't know about unmatched. I'd say Mania is probably bigger in terms of like verticality. Like, there's a decent amount of verticality in these ones, but yeah, I would agree with that. So are we doing cutscenes, or would you prefer skipping those?
Any second.
Hey guys, what's going on? You having a party or something?
Skip. Done and done. Not really much of a difference in generations, am I right? Plot is not this game's strong suit. Yeah, I love this model mod. Like, adding the modern adventure to it, it's like, it's not going to get you the real adventure experience, but it's a little closer. Like, my biggest problem with the modern titles up till this point has been how Sonic handles at kind of low to mid speeds. That's kind of why I wanted to make it. And this helps a little bit, but I still ran into a lot of problems, and I don't know how much of those are things that I don't know how to fix, and how much of that is just kind of the limitations of what's already kind of hard-coded into the game. But I think it's a perfect opening stage. Yeah, it's a little on the linear side, but you still got some exploration for the stuff that you're willing to put in. If you want to boost in Green Hill Zone, that's, you know, I again wouldn't even call it anywhere close to boost to win, but you know, if you want to just kind of boost like a maniac in this level, that's totally fine. Opening kind of eases you in, but for people who want to kind of bring it to the next level, you also have that option too. You know, just repetition, understanding the level design. Also, playing this on stream is going to reveal my deep dark secret that I'm actually not that good at Sonic games. Love them to death, but I'm really not that great. I remember I saw that one. Yeah. Love this. Just like, man, the Generations level designers are top notch. But it's kind of like, it was kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back a little bit from Unleashed too, because I feel like, you know, Unleashed isn't quite as refined as Generations in a lot of ways, but I feel like that unrefinement led to some really cool stuff that Unleashed did that Generations just kind of streamlined out a little bit. You know, like Jungle Joyride in Unleashed is pretty dang good. Love it. Pretty much everything. Like even in oh, what is that first level called in Unleashed? Not the tutorial level. The first one in Jungle, yeah, Jungle Joyride. Oh, Windmill Isle, yeah. Or is that the tutorial level, or is that the first main level? I can't remember. But yeah, even that one, just kind of like the little right before the main grinding area in that first level, you can kind of take that right and go down the stairs. I can't remember if there's a Sun and Moon level there, or if that's just in Unleashed Project. Just like, again, I've said this before on Twitter, and people have come at me, and I think that we kind of, I think we talked about it. I think we kind of, yep, there we go. Yeah, I think that we were kind of talking about it, which is kind of what got it started, but there definitely is... I just totally lost my train of thought. I'm realizing now that I'm very terrible at multitasking. But I'm sure it'll come back to me. Man. Watch out, Ninja. There's a new Twitch personality that's just gonna tear it up. Well, with my unmatched charisma and ability to keep my brain straight. Good times. Yeah, I know. I'm just kind of looking back and forth from the stream. I'm making excuses. I'm really not that great, but when I was testing this mod out, I definitely got extremely good at this level for about 30 seconds, and then it's all gone. This part was a pain to get because I had to tweak. So basically, the mod itself required me to basically take portions of classic Sonic's scripting and alter it slightly and apply it to classic or to modern Sonic, and that messed with the gravity and the height that he gets when he gets bounced from springs. So I had to go into the scripting of individual levels, which is the masked portion of the Modern Adventure mod, and I actually had to go in and tweak aspects of certain springs to make it so they weren't too overpowered and sent Sonic like above the pipe and stuff. And actually in the Green Hill Zone as well, after the giant piranha portion, the trick rings would actually send Sonic way too far, and it would miss the collider that would trigger the 2D section, and so it would just send him careening off of the screen and to his death. So there was a lot of fine tuning that had to happen to make the mod work correctly. Just portions of the specific levels. It wasn't the whole thing. Basically, I would just play through, and if there was something that was behaving way out of whack, then I would go in and I would tweak it. There was one challenge stage, and if I get to the point where I have to choose challenge stages on the stream, I'll go to it. But there was a challenge stage that actually was unbeatable because of the spring issue, because it was one of the portions where it was springing you from a 2D section to a 3D section, or not really a 3D section, but into the 3D plane, and it just would shoot you off into no man's land. I really wanted to make my own stages for this too. Like, as soon as I was done with Modern Adventure, I'm like, okay, custom stages. But then I found out that you needed 3ds Max software to do, and you know, I wanted to do it above board, but I definitely did not want to pay for that software, and so I'm just like, kind of, that barrier to entry was a little too tall for me. So I called it good on this one, and I'm like, you know, if I really want to make my own Sonic experience, I'll, you know, learn some scripting and learn some code and put together my own fan game, which I plan to do. I've been teaching myself a little C# here and there, and been looking at the different engines to see if there's anything that would really suit my purposes. I was hoping Hedge Physics would be it, but there's a few things about it that I don't like, and I'm not knowledgeable enough about how that was put together to really be able to figure out how to fix it. Oh, that's right, you're doing computer science or something, aren't you? Isn't that what your degree is? Hey, we got another guy. How's it going, Anime Video Gamer 2? Okay, I just really want to quickly point this out because it's kind of... Oh, I remember what I was talking about now. We were having that conversation about how boost level design is really not that different from adventure level design. And this is one of the locations that I cited as an example. Because look at this. This is way wider than anything in Sonic Adventure Sonic Adventure 2 for sure, maybe not Sonic Adventure. But if you weren't to boost through here, and you were just to kind of experience this and look at it, not only is it gorgeous, but there's like tons of like little secret areas, and look at all the different options you have. I mean, you can just hang around there, you can boost through, you've got these 2 different tiers, you can go either the lower area or the upper area. If I was speedrunning this, then I would definitely not stick around, but part of the appeal to me of the Sonic Adventure games was just like, you know, maybe it was just because it was called Sonic Adventure, but I always really took my time in those games, and I kind of missed that. It took me a lot of time to kind of acclimate to the... oh crap. It took me a lot of time to acclimate to the boost formula. I straight up didn't like what I saw from Unleashed when it first got leaked and when it first came out. I just didn't have an interest in it. I played the demo that came with Xbox Magazine. I used to have a subscription to that. I'm like, I hate this because again, like the low and mid speed controls are just so stiff. Even in Generations, they're still pretty stiff. Vanilla Generations, and I think that that's the one thing that's really been holding me back from saying that Modern is my absolute favorite formula, because, you know, level design of Generations, just with a little tweak here and there to his mechanics and his acceleration and movement, and you'd have an absolute winner on my hands, in my opinion. As it stands, it's probably my second favorite. Oh, sorry, Anime Video Gamer 2. I am trying to learn Unity. It's going very slow. And I was hearing some very kind of concerning things about Unity getting bought and what that's going to mean to, you know, its license and stuff. Unity has already changed a lot just since I became aware of it. There was a time several years ago when I also was trying to learn it, and at that time it was totally free. It wasn't, you know, a subscription service. There was a free version, and then there was a paid version that you'd have to buy if one of your games sold beyond like 10,000 units or something like that, and then you would have to purchase like the $10,000 version, or however much that cost. So I kind of, and again, like, coding is not my love language. So it's definitely a slow go for me, but I've been teaching myself a little bit, looking for different tutorials and stuff. Found some really good ones, but yeah, it's slow go. Yeah, the Adventure 2 model is probably my favorite game model. And I'm saying that just kind of off the cuff, and my brain is catching up with me to say, no, I like this one, no, I like this one. But in terms of in-game, not cutscenes, but in-game, I feel like Sonic Adventure 2's model just kind of hit this sweet spot for me. I really dig it. Adventure 1 kind of has a soft spot in my heart, but it's also kind of, you know, it's kind of stuck in its time. And for some reason, not a big fan of how it translated to the HD adventure model that people put into Generations. It's fine, it's like really well made, but for some reason or another, just like, I don't know, he's a little too round, a little too sleek looking. Something about kind of the more pointy, I guess for lack of a better term, that the Adventure 2 model had that I really liked. Adventure and Boost Hybrid is my dream game. I'm just concerned that kind of the amount of effort that's required to execute something like that would just be so intense for Sonic team to handle, that, or whatever development team there is going to be now, that it's just a little too high level from the team that we saw make Sonic Forces personally. And that's not a slight against them. I think that, you know, if anybody is kind of looked at the inner workings of Sonic games, and me, I've barely done any of that, but just kind of the basics that I've looked at, looking at hedge physics and looking at bumper engine and stuff like that, and seeing the hundreds and thousands of lines of code that's required to get a game like Sonic going. It's just like, it's not incompetence. It's just a lot. It's a lot to keep in mind, and sometimes it's hard to focus on. And again, I don't really know the inner workings of Sega, why Forces turned out the way it did, but you know, I think that the overhead required for making a very solid 3D Sonic game, combined with, you know, whatever kind of development woes Forces went through, it just kind of, it was doomed from the start. I did an online course. I did, what do you call it? Through Microsoft Academy, I want to call it. They had, and actually it's going away now, the specific program that I went through to learn the basics of C#. Cannot think of what the guy's name is, but there was, yeah, a really good tutorial series that was teaching the basics, and then from there I've just been kind of looking on YouTube for Unity specific C# tutorials. But the problem is, you know, it's hit or miss, right? Some people are more knowledgeable about certain things than others, and, you know, coding is, I'm a graphic designer, you know, I'm a very visual person, so in addition to the fact that code is very foreign to me, but like Photoshop, there's a million ways to do everything, and nothing is necessarily wrong, but there's definitely things that are more suited to certain tasks than others. And I you know, I have zero frame of reference as to what the most efficient way of doing anything in coding is. And hopefully I'll get to the point where I can piece it together, but you never know. It's a very large undertaking. There's a reason why people go to school to learn that kind of stuff. And you know, me, I've got plenty of things going on in real life and stuff that just makes being able to just focus on that very difficult to do. Which again is just kind of me making excuses for I lose interest in things really quick. This one's stuck around though. Learning C# is something that I've been doing for the last couple of months straight, which is pretty good for me. So hopefully I'll continue to hold on to that long enough to actually make something out of it. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat again. I'm failing. Whoa. Getting some lag. Come on. There we go. Just had like a frame drop there for some reason. Oh, you know why? It's because I'm recording this at the same time as I'm streaming it. It's probably not smart. I'm a noob. Let's live and learn. Hanging on the edge of tomorrow. Oh, nope. Come on now. Oops. There we go. I think that classic Sky Sanctuary is probably my favorite classic Sonic level in the game. It's got really good platforming, it's got nice speed sections. What I really like about it, though, is that even though the gameplay itself is always 2D in this level, there's areas where the camera and all that stuff kind of, or even just how the level is laid out, gives some dimensionality to it. Like, paths are kind of crossing through each other, not just on an X and Y axis, but also on a Z axis. You know, you'll see paths that if you took a different path, you would be going in a different compass direction. I think that's really cool. Yeah, Sky Sanctuary is MVP of the classic levels. Oh, crap. My favorites. I do have some more videos planned, so I don't know if you saw, I just did something with Gamer Guide 7 Aces. We just did something on multiple paths in Shadow the Hedgehog. That's been a script that I've been actually kind of had in my back pocket for a really long time, and I actually recorded it a long time ago and wasn't really happy with it, so I put it on the back burner. And then Gamer Guide was like, "Hey, do you want to collab?" I'm like, "I've got this thing that I've kind of been sitting on for probably close to a year now," and so I re-outlined it, re-scripted it, and he liked it, so we went with it. But I definitely do have some other videos planned. I'm definitely not going to be on as long of a hiatus as last time. I've got a script already finished up for another video. And it's just going to be a matter of getting the footage for it. That's always the most time-consuming part. And specifically with the subject matter of this upcoming video, crap, that was my fault. Especially with the subject matter of this upcoming video, it's going to take a while to get the footage I need for it. It's definitely going to be hard to get enough footage to keep it interesting, because it's going to be a little monotonous to watch if you're not playing it. Other games I play? So I just recently... It's been a really long time since I've been super into JRPGs, but I just finished Persona 5, which was really good. I have not gotten that into a new game series probably since high school. It's the last time that I've had to really get into it. That was really solid, and it's a 100-hour game. I was shocked that I actually found the time to do it, and that, you know, sleep is optional, right? So that's good. I'm a pretty big Mega Man fan. Haven't played through a lot of Mega Man 11 yet. I just played the demo, but I really liked what I played. I'm more of a Zero fan, though, a Mega Man Zero fan. I think that those are some of the best platformers that they put out. Those are good. Battle Network, my absolute favorite RPGs probably of all time, but Persona's going to give it a run for its money. I'm actually playing through the Resident Evil 1 remake, the reissue on PS4, and yowza. I mean, that's so... I'd always heard how good that remake is, but I never really understood why it was so good until I started playing it, and it really gave me a respect for those games that I've never really played that much Resident Evil, so this definitely has changed up my opinion on it a lot. Okay, so now that we're doing the challenge stages, I'm going to show you guys the one that gave me the most grief when I was creating the Modern Adventure mod, Act 2, Challenge 2. There's a couple of reasons for this. So one, it's one of the things that I created Mast for, which is the file that tweaks the scripting in certain stages to make them work correctly with Modern Adventure's physics. But this one specifically, the editing software for editing Sonic Generations levels would not open this stage. There was no geometry, no nothing. There was just a bunch of assorted objects that were just coming up as squares and things on a list. And so instead, I couldn't actually use the editing software for this. So what I had to actually do is I had to go into the script of the game itself and go item by item until I could find the spring that was giving me grief, and then editing the values for it to make it so it wouldn't just shoot you off into the background and kill you. And so that took several hours to do because I had to go basically spring by spring to track down the correct one. It was, and if I can remember which one it is, I will point out which one it is that made me want to tear my hair out. Also, this is a really cool remix of Sonic Racing. I have a real soft spot for Sonic Racing. It is not nearly as bad as everyone gives it crap for. Especially because you have the sharp turn feature. As a kid, I didn't know the sharp turn was a thing because I played on PC. I played on Windows 98. for the Sonic R port to PC. I had no idea, and oh crap! Oh no! I fixed this. Why isn't it fixed? Well, I guess now you see the spring that gave me grief, because apparently it's still giving me grief. I got it working really consistently. I don't know what's going on now. I don't think I made any... I think this is like one of the last stages that I fixed. So I don't know what's happening. But yeah, that quick turn feature, it's kind of like a more controllable drift. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so I have no idea why it's happening inconsistently, because I don't think that I did anything different that second time, but even so, that's not great. Look at me, I'm breaking a good game. Favorite game series excluding Sonic? Oh boy, that is a good question. I don't get a lot of time to play new games very much, but it would probably be Mega Man Battle Network. It's the first one that comes to my brain. Sonic Riders? It's been years since I played Sonic Riders. I remember liking it. I remember playing it, you know, when it first came out and being like, man, this drift mechanic is really cool. I'd love to see it in a Sonic game. And then Unleashed came out and started using it. I'm like, that's really cool. Glad they took my advice, even though I never interacted with them whatsoever. Which one is this? No. Feeling lazy. I just want to do the easy ones. There we go. Man, the drift is so much better in this game than it is in Unleashed. I love Unleashed. I think I love it a little bit more than Sonic Generations, but it's definitely not for gameplay reasons. Like, mechanically, Generations just is that much better. But I will also say that... Boy, my opinions on those two games are very complicated. It's like... It was like I was kind of saying earlier, I think the Generations took 2 steps forward and 1 step back in terms of a lot of things. Like, there's just way more kind of plotting 2D sections in modern Sonic than there was in Unleashed. I think that was kind of a step backwards, but at the same time, the 3D that's here is so good. And then just overall presentation, I think that Unleashed looks better, sounds better. Only downside to that is obviously the frame rate, because now we only have it on 360 for the time being. And I guess Xbox One, now that it's done that, done the backwards compatibility thing. How is that? Has anyone actually played it on the Xbox One? Do you know how... any issues? Because I know with something like Shenmue coming to Xbox 360 from the Xbox, they had some major issues. Is there anything similar to that in the Xbox One of Unleashed? Awesome. So Jungle Joyride doesn't tank it like it does in the 360 version? I shouldn't say version, but playing it on 360, I guess. Oh. Whee! Boom. Key. Kinda don't want to do Metal Sonic yet. Just gonna get the keys out of the way first. I'm actually gonna do the Knuckles one. I like this. I think that this is kind of a good indicator of how a retooled treasure hunting stage would work. Oh, I'm right here. 3D Blast Remix, another awesome one. Like, can you imagine just kind of, instead of having the 3 individual radars that either all beep at the same time or one beeps at a time, just being basically kind of a compass that will just kind of lock on to the closest one, so you don't have the annoying beep, 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 but you get, you know, the basic indicator. It's kind of like, almost like T-Call in Sonic Adventure 1 plus the Emerald Radar, just kind of streamlining it a little bit. I'm one of those weirdos that never thought that Knuckles stages in either Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2 were that bad, except for like Death Chamber in Sonic Adventure 2. That one is just as bad as everyone says it is, and whatever Rouge's equivalent to that is. But pretty much anything that lets you kind of glide around and stuff, it's totally fine. I think complaints are a little overblown. The Tails ones, the Tails and Eggman levels are definitely my least favorite parts of Sonic Adventure 2. But even then, they're mostly passable, except for... I was kind of rethinking this because, like, I think in my video, I can't remember which video it was, I was talking about... I'm gonna lose this. I don't remember which video I was talking about Sonic Adventure 2, and I was saying that my least favorite Walker stage was the Eggman one on the Ark. But the one with the lower gravity, I got a lot of flack for that, people saying that that was their favorite. And I think in general, I dislike the Ark Walker stages. Like anything that any of the Tails or Eggman stages that happen on the Ark, I dislike. They just go on too long. And specifically with that stage, the thing that I disliked the most was the on-rails section that just went on forever. Ooh. Nice try. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I like Knuckles in Adventure 1. I honestly think I like him a little better in Adventure 2. Like, people complain about the radar system, and to be fair, I think that it is a downgrade mechanically, but I just kind of like, I don't know, it never really was a deal breaker for me. I definitely think that is intrusive. Oh, I made it. I was like half paying attention to this level. I'm surprised I actually pulled it off. Let's see. I guess I'll do Metal Sonic. Then I gotta call it quits for today, guys. I know this was a short one, and most of it was kind of figuring out how this thing actually even worked. But now that I kind of have a better feel for it, I'll probably give it another shot in the future. Oh, guess I gotta talk to Metal Sonic. Oops. I'll probably promote this a little more heavily next time too. I appreciate you guys. You're the real MVPs for stopping by on this inaugural attempt. But and you're valued and appreciated. But next time I kind of hope I can get a few more people on here. That's not a big deal. I don't do this stuff because I hope to get popular or rich off of doing Sonic stuff. It's just what I do for fun. Not hoping to be a professional Twitch streamer, YouTuber. If anything, I just kind of like the ability to learn new skill sets. Like, part of the reason that I continued doing Sonic videos after that first Sonic Forces one was just so that way I can, just so that way I could get better at video editing and stuff. My day job requires a lot of motion graphics and animation and editing and stuff, so the fact that I was kind of able to do this on the side and do it in a fun way is kind of a nice little bonus. Oops. Oh, thanks so much. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Scanner 14. Appreciate you saying that. Glad people are having fun with it, but I definitely want to improve it. I'm just really quickly gonna plug the video I just did with Gamer Guide again. The Shadow the Hedgehog's Forgotten Potential. We talk about some stuff that I really wanted to talk about for a while. Even though the Shadow the Hedgehog game was pretty bad, there's some really cool ideas in there that, if they were to be done in a different way, could lead to a really cool solution to a lot of the problems that modern Sonic games have. Specifically padding and pacing, and if we're lucky, maybe even a way of kind of getting rid of the 2D sections in modern games. Sam, thank you. Sam's a little easier. Sam's a little easier to say. Crap. Come on now. Yeah, I'm not the best Sonic player to begin with, and now that I'm kind of splitting my attention between two different things, it's definitely not doing me any favors. Oh. Oops. Sorry, I'm gonna stop talking for like 30 seconds, and hopefully that'll help me be a little less embarrassing. Oh. Kind of bummed they got rid of the giant Eggman statue in this version of Stardust Speedway. It's pretty iconic. Oops. Come on. Oops. That took way longer than it should have. Alright guys, I'm going to call it quits for today, but I'll definitely try doing this again. Definitely check out that video that I did with Gamer Guide, the Shadow the Hedgehog's Forgotten Potential, and I will definitely have more videos here coming up, hopefully within the next month or so. Don't hold me to it, but that's my plan. Alright guys, that's all I got. Have a good one.